All right. Yeah, I had never met anybody in the world that was making a bunch of money on the internet that had created like a lifestyle business, freedom business where they could travel wherever they want. That the amount of money that they make is determined on the amount of sales that they make. Right? It's up to them, not up to however much somebody else decides that I'm worth. I didn't know anybody like that, so I just had all these strangers on the internet that I was trusting. That if they could do it, I could do it. Right? If they could figure it out, I could figure it out. And I know Steven knows what that's like because he'd been kind of in that world, just kind of trying to figure that stuff out for a while.
That's right.
I believe, was I the first person you met that had ever, because I actually met him at a live event, right? Was I the
You're the first one that I know has succeeded.
Okay. Yeah. So that was the world I was in too, right? I actually hadn't even met anybody else that had tried. And so, it was kind of scary in that respect, but on the other side, I had been doing it and I've been messing with it and I understood, okay, I got to get this number of people to see my stuff. And I understood my numbers, right? I had done it enough to where I knew my numbers. I knew that, okay, if I'm going to go after here, I know that I'm going to get about this many leads. And after 2 days, that'll be enough leads to where I'll have a sale. I had done enough to where I could make that happen. And so I had belief within myself, but that was kind of it. And I believe that if I wouldn't have gotten those little bit of results when I got laid off and not had anybody else that was supporting me, that was believing in me, that was telling me, if I really want this, I can go do it, right? That you can do this. If I didn't have that, I probably would still be in a job and none of us would be here right now. But so everything for me really did line up perfectly. And I truly believe when they say, burn the boats, get rid of your plan B, have no other option, go all in. Right? That's all kind of metaphor for turn all of your focus towards this. And human beings, we just got a knack for making it happen. Like, I'm not really afraid, even if, I don't know, I'm not commenting on whether global warming is real or not, but one thing I know is it's not going to cause global extinction for us, right? Because when the pressure is on, we figure it out. We find a way. If things start getting too hot, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we're working with North Korea and every other country all at the same time to stop the earth from being destroyed, right? And we're going to succeed. We'll succeed. We'll invent some kind of crazy something or other, maybe something that doesn't exist, some technology that doesn't exist right now, but we'll find a way. And I think that that's why we're the only species on earth that doesn't have competition. We're so far removed from eating a burger, from the cow and the grain and all the work and then the millions of, or all the people that went through processing it and creating it until it's on our table and eating it, right? And I'll get back on that. That's a concept of abstraction that I've been learning about, which makes it a lot easier for way less people to be vegetarian. If you knew the entire process, then you lose that abstraction and it starts to feel more real. But that was something I was just talking to Lana about. In some of these other internet businesses, they don't do this kind of thing. And for them, it's all a numbers game. There is no people game to it. And so they have this level of abstraction. If somebody buys something and then immediately they're saying, hey, get into DA and it's the best thing ever and you can join it. And then they're like, all right, cool. Well, I'm going to test this over here. And now they're like, all right, now you got to join in this thing. And this is the best thing ever. They're just numbers. And they're like, how do things work? And which one can I make the most money in? And there's no people involved in it. They don't have a heart. And that's what happened with Goldman Sachs, right? Goldman Sachs had a strong heart for the people for a long time. Everything was about long-term focused. They put people first. And when that abstraction came around and it shifted around to where it was all about numbers, money first, sales at any cost, it created a caustic environment, a bad atmosphere to work in. And just like any dictatorship, they were taken down from the people closest to them. Right? And so maybe this is making sense to some of you guys, maybe not. But that was my pre-frame for what's going on tonight. I'm going to be talking about from your very, very first day up to your first six figures. Okay? Very first day to first six figures. And what's important is right now, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Okay? You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Now, what that means to you now is once you agree and decide that, okay, this is where I'm at, you can say, this is what I need to be focusing on. Because not everybody on this call is in the same spot in their business, right? Some of you guys are generating a bunch of leads every day. Some of you guys are generating leads every week. Some of you guys are getting sales every week. Some of you guys haven't generated your first lead or made your first sale.
God.
Huh?
In your house and set it up, it's 79.
Oh, Nikki.
Hold on.
That's all right. It's good to hear you.
Sorry.
That's all right. I was just up in Dallas with Nikki. We celebrated New Year's Eve. It was fun. It was really fun. We went onto a rooftop. It was cool because you could look all around and see fireworks from all downtown and uptown. And yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was a good time. And got to meet one of her friends who might be joining us on the call tonight. Maybe Nikki's first sale. We'll see. So I'm going to say your first goal. Let's talk about this in goals, and then we'll break it down to another step in action steps. So your first goal is going to be, let's give it 10 leads. Okay, your first goal is 10 leads. So who here has generated 10 leads?
Actually, I got 66 leads yesterday and today with a solo ad.
Nice. Congratulations.
So I'm waiting to see if anybody
wait.
goes through.
I'm going to get back to asking everybody about who did 10 leads in a second, but I want to talk to Steven. So did you was this with the same solo ad that you did earlier?
Yeah, I changed the link because I didn't have the right link the last time, so I sent out to the one to make $3,000 in a month.
Yeah.
And that one's converting. I got 45% out of 150 clicks, or 66 out of 150.
That makes sense.
So
yeah.
I did send them the daily shortcut this afternoon.
Good. I want to talk to you guys about the day. Remind me, somebody on here, interrupt me if it gets past like 40 minutes past the hour and I haven't brought up the daily shortcut, because there was a change to that, and I don't know if anybody noticed it, but if not, I want to show you it because it's pretty exciting. But real quick, hands up, or let me know in the chat who has generated the first 10 leads. Nobody? Just Paula? And I guess Steven?
Yes.
Oh, Leslie has. Nikki, Vicky, Lana. What about you guys? I'm helping my friends get a mattress. Okay. So we'll just leave it at that. So most of you guys are there. BK, you're still here at this first step, right? Now, I'm actually going to ask you guys, the ones who have made their first 10 leads, what can BK do to get his first 10 leads?
Well, there's solo ads, and I blogged, and I'm doing the daily shortcuts, or the
Have you generated
Facebook, Twitter.
Okay.
I am not sure if I have done it from the social media at all, but I'm putting them every day. Actually, it's a total of 108 leads that I've done since, I guess, 3 weeks I've been in. And there's one sale. So I finally got the blog going this week, and I'm going to do another blog post tonight. I'm unsure if anything's coming from those yet. Okay.
So I'll say that congratulations on the sale. That's pretty cool. 45% is a high percent. You know, you're not going to get that. I imagine most people make their own capture page, and through split testing or whatever can get up to 20 or 30%. And it's not until you know quite a bit that you can break 40, and 45 is really, really high. So I would keep going with that if that seems like a good traffic source. For the most part, I've heard our sales video is converting. Well, it's a new process, so I'll go into that here in a bit. My girlfriend just brought me some delicious food. Yeah, kind of a salad with a bunch of meat and eggs. And, yeah, that's awesome. You're the best. And water. This is really what I needed right now. So it does look good. Thank you, Nikki. Nikki, have you generated 10 leads? Lana said not lately, but she has generated leads. Okay, cool. So, Nikki, you're also in this 10 leads. Thank you, Steven, Paula, Leslie, or Lana. Would one of you guys like to come out and share with us how could BK and Nikki generate their first 10 leads?
Well, I got to tell you guys, I think Instagram is fast and easy.
I see Paula nodding her head, and I imagine Lana is too, because I think that that's how they made their first 10 leads as well. Yeah, Instagram is really good. So if you haven't gone through that Instagram training of mine, you're going to want to do that quickly. I know of no better way for somebody brand new, you know, not saying you don't have any skills. Obviously, you guys all have tremendous skill sets at your own things that you do. But this is something that the skill level is really low, that anybody, you know, you just got to do it. So 10 leads. After that, I would say the next step is to get 10 leads per day, right? 10 leads per day. If you can get 10 leads, you can figure out a way to where you can get 10 leads per day. Now, if your 10 leads came from sharing the total shortcut on your Facebook wall, you're probably getting to 10 leads a day with that is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So if you're sharing it every single day, what you got to make sure to do is that you're sharing it with a ever-growing audience. If you're sharing it with the same 300 people every single day, it's not going to work as well as if every day you're growing that number by 5, right? Then it'll start to be a lot better. Things will start to happen. Hold on a second. You can unmute and ask me, BK. But I'll get with you afterward and tell you about the Instagram training. Sorry, the chat popping up messes with me sometimes.
I just didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, no. You guys can interrupt me. Today we're working back and forth here. So who here is that has gotten or is getting 10 leads per day? We got Leslie, and I think maybe Lana has, or she's gotten close. Okay, she's got her hand up. Okay, she has before, but is currently not. But you're getting back on that, right, Lana? I just see your neck, and your chin was like. That's funny. All right, cool. And Steven, you are significantly over 10 leads a day, but it sounds like you're going a big burst, right? So
I don't know if they're going to convert or what.
Well, no. It doesn't matter. Right now, you're not worrying about converting. You're worrying about getting a list, because when you have a list, you could build a relationship with that list and learn to convert. Okay, they're converting. It's as if the language you're using is if like they have all the decision in it, and in reality, it is ultimately their decision. But you're converting your list is what it is, because large numbers of people are predictable. Okay, individuals are not, but over a large group of people, you could do things that come up with predictable stuff. And so you're converting your list. Now, sending them to the daily shortcut makes it really easy, but ultimately squeezing your own personality into it is really what's going to bring people to feel like they know you, like you, and trust you, right? You're familiar with that stuff, right? And just inherently, that if somebody called you up and said, hey, buy this, there's a slim chance you would buy it unless they were somebody you knew, like, to trust. Your grandma said, hey, buy this. You're going to buy it, unless you don't like your grandma, right? Maybe you don't trust her as much, or you don't like her very much. But if you did, then, that would be something there. Okay, so next thing. After 10 leads a day, now this is not going to be in order. You can get a sale before you even get your first 10 leads, right? Like Nikki may have her first sale and maybe hasn't even generated one lead yet. I don't know. She might have generated some leads. I'm not sure. So the next one I would say is you need one sale. Get your first sale. Make a sale. So how do you make a sale? What are some ways to make a sale? You can get, 100 people to watch the sales video, and you'll make a sale or 2, maybe 3. You can make a video for a group. So you think of a group. Okay, I got my church group. I've got my old school buddies. I've got my college. I've got this old network marketing company that I used to be in. I've got this other old network marketing company that I used to be in. I've got everybody from, maybe we chat about a specific game or whatever, right? You've got these groups of people that are all a group because they have something in common, right? You guys know, you're following me so far? You tracking? Yeah? Okay, so then the thing is, maybe a good way to make a first sale is what I was teaching BK, is to make a video specifically for one of those groups. And so BK, I gave him the task to make, I don't know, it was like 15 or something videos. Yeah, and he had never done any of them. And so how good do you think his first one was? Yeah. As good as all of our first ones.
Terrible.
BK, are you ready to do some more growth this evening?
I am.
You are? Okay, cool. So real quick, let's pick a group. Who's a group of people? I mean, even if it's just 2 people, and really ultimately you could do it for one person. Like, hey, bro, we've been brothers as long as you've been alive. You're 18 years old and, you could go into the working force, but really I'm doing something that's a little bit different. You probably know that by now. And I want you to at least take a look at it. It may not be for you, and honestly, I don't care. It's fine. but I don't want you wishing or angry at me for not sharing it with you. So go ahead and, let me know if you got some time to look at it, right? And then I'll send that one to one person, to my brother, just like that, right? Another one would be I grab my phone and I'm like, hey, what's going on? We met at a Genesis Pure convention, right? That was the first network marketing company I was ever in, the only one besides this one, and those products were awesome. In fact, I had some earlier today. I still take it to this day. But the thing that didn't work is the business, right? That side just didn't really jive with me. I didn't understand how to get the numbers that were really necessary to create a 10K a month income. And so I was still open. I was still looking for other stuff, and one thing led to another. And I learned that I could actually build a business with complete strangers on the internet. And so I'm doing that, but I also figured, hey, look, I know that you're into this. You see the dream. You want to be able to retire and quit your job too. And so if you're interested, if you're still keeping your options open, if you're still looking for other things, send me a message back, and I'll shoot you over an info about it, all right? Just like that. Boom, that little video. And then I can go and on Facebook Messenger, I can send it to all the people that were, that I had rapport with, right? That I have responsiveness. All the people who know who I am from that deal, because we had that in common. Make the same thing. Hey, look, we're in church together and stuff, and maybe I've got this going on with my life, and this is the reason why I decided to start a business on the internet. And if you're interested in that too, let me know. These are the kind of things that you can really get a sale with. This is the easiest way to get your first couple of sales, because everybody's got a couple of people that really, as soon as they found out about this, they buy it, but they just don't know about it yet. And so it's your job to, if you choose to accept it, introduce it to them in a way that's sexy, right? In a way, I don't know why this means sexy, but introduce it to them in a way that, is attractive, that makes sense, that makes them say, yeah, I want that. Okay, that sounds good. And you send them some information and know that most of them aren't going to join. But if you're going with a high lead flow approach, you just make 10 videos out to 10 different groups. And ultimately that comes out to be like 200 people, or even if it's 100 people, 50 people, you're going to get some sales. All right. After one sale, let's just scale this up fast. And let's say no. Before we get to that, this is the holy grail. This is kind of when things start happening really, really, really quickly. This is the number where enough sales start coming in. You got enough things working with to where when you send out an email, you're seeing and you're learning really, really rapidly what's working, what doesn't. When does my list like opening? What kind of emails do they like to open? What kind of stuff are they clicking on? How do I get them to reply back to me? And that is at 30 leads per day. Okay, 30 leads a day. And so when you get to 30 leads a day, I don't know, something about it, it's a magic number. I remember hearing from the first training that I ever went through about getting my own leads. And sure enough, with 30 leads a day, just, 1 out of 100 is interested in pretty much anything, and so if it's all a congruent sales funnel from capture page to sales video with your follow-up series as well, this will result in a sale every other day or whatever. And that results in enough to where you get like the higher level sales kind of consistently. And ultimately, this gives you the amount of social proof and the authority to where every single week you can mail your list some more proof that this is working, and 30 people a day seeing all that proof, and your list is just rapidly growing still. It starts converting. Okay. Has anybody experienced that yet? A little bit? No? Okay. Maybe with some paid traffic, but that's not the same ultimately, unless you're buying, 2 solo ads a week, then you can get to that real quick. It's easy. But any other way, it takes a lot more time. But also it typically takes less leads. With solo ads, it's going to take more leads, most of the time. And it's also going to take more time because you have to do, like with Instagram, they get to know, like, and trust me before they get on my list most of the time, right? Whereas with a solo ad, they get on my list and then they have to begin to know, like, and trust me. Does that make sense? All right. Then after that, we got like 1 sale per day, right? Or a better way to look at that would probably be about 7 sales a week, right? Kind of average out to 1 sale a day. And then ultimately, your ultimate goal to hit the top of the comp plan, 2 sales per day for 90 days straight. And you have a $30K per month income, right? So if you want to hit the top of the comp plan, you want to hit diamond, which means that you're now making the most amount of money possible per every action that you take in your business through our comp plan. You know, all 80% of it, you've got access to it in some way, shape, or form. You're also going to have tremendous leverage because you can't really hit that number without leadership popping up in your team. And ultimately, at this level, I'm not qualified to teach you beyond that, but at this level, you're going to be doing some other things, right? Front-end sales are not the most important thing. David Wood is not really concerned about front-end sales, right? That's not really his thing, worrying about how to get more leads and more front-end sales, right? It's beyond that, right? You're thinking beyond that. And that's ultimately, you know, this for, 3 years or whatever, and you got $1 million ring. Right? So if we're going to identify where we're at, and then from there prescribe something for you to do, I would say this right here is really like it's these two. So maybe I should have put the sale above 10 leads a day. But if we say these two.
Brian, it's hard to read. You might need to say what those two are.
Oh, man, you can't read that?
Well, I can't read that. I don't know. Can you guys read that?
I wrote it all down.
Okay, so I've got 10 leads to 1 sale. To get your first 10 leads, get your first sale, this is going to be Instagram, right? Instagram, like Leslie said, like Lana nodded her head, like Paula agreed. Instagram, and then the daily shortcut, right? That is how, you know, and then also we can go with the direct video method, right? The direct video method that I described. Did anybody like that? Is anybody interested in doing that one? Nobody? Maybe BK or no? Yeah? Okay, he was kind of interested in it when we last talked, but now he's less excited.
I'll do what works.
Okay, dude, that works. I made sales that way. That works. I mean, you get a message, and the message is just a video, and it's your face coming from you, you know, one of your friends, and it doesn't matter who it is, somebody that you haven't even talked to in a year, and all of a sudden they get a video, and it's their face, and you can tell it's just them talking, and you see that it's like less than a minute long. I mean, how are you not going to watch that, right? Super intriguing. They have to watch it. And ultimately, what you're interested in is not convincing them of anything. It's sifting and sorting, right? Amateurs try to convince, and professionals sift and sort. You want to be a professional. If you want to earn a professional type of income, you want to be a professional. So you want to sift and sort. And so when you make this video, it's not about convincing anybody. It's about intruding somebody, about influencing them or persuading them. No, because if you persuade them, then, you know, you have to persuade them every single week and every single month to stay and continue to pay. And ultimately, they say you can run with 1,000, but you can't drag 3, right? So you don't want to go persuading anybody. That reeks of desperation. It doesn't feel good. It's not going to, and it doesn't work. It's not a long-term strategy. And ultimately, this is a long-term business, right? You guys aren't just trying to get rich for 1 week and that's it. You know, you guys are looking for lifestyle changes. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, because that's who I speak to, you know? So, okay. So that's how you're going to get your first one. To get to 10 leads a day, you know, I would say ultimately I think that you can get all of it with just these 2. I think you can get all of it with just these 2. Now, if you also have a budget, the thing that you would bring in is paid traffic. Do you have a question? No? You guys good? Okay. So if we look at what I do in my business, it really is just those 3. And I'm still testing with paid traffic because for me, 2016 was the best year of my life. You know, I got a new girlfriend in the beginning of January. It's our anniversary, our 1 year together in 8 days. So that's exciting. Then I got her to retire from her job in May, and we went to 13 different countries. I went to like 8 or 9 national parks. all while seeing you guys pretty much every single week until like around the holiday times. I kind of missed a little bit. And it was really hard in the Dubai, the Middle East time zone is terrible. I think I did it once. It was like, or twice really. It was like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. And from 4 to 5, that's what it was. Anyway, all right. So, but ultimately, this is still what I do. Okay. Oh, that's what I was saying. That was the best year of my life. And so for me, 2017 is going to be a lot more work, but it's about giving it to you guys. And when I think about it, my very first, like from 0 to 6 figures, my very first replacing my job, quitting my job, relying full time on my ability as an entrepreneur, as a competent, marketer or whatever, to be able to fund myself, that was pretty hard, right? But once I had those skills, once I had the assets created, once I had autoresponders with custom videos going out, once I had lead generation sources, right, where profit coming out of them, once I had little things set up that were generating autopilot leads, so every single day I wasn't starting from 0 leads, looking for how am I going to get it to 30 leads today. It was, hey, look, I woke up and I had 9 leads before I woke up, and by the time I sent out my first emails and made a couple of videos, I come back and look, there's like 3 more leads that came in, right? So getting that all set up was the hardest part. And so my goal for 2017 is helping 50 people get that all set up so they can say, I don't need a job. I don't need to go look for another job. I don't need to ever go back into the position where I'm a cog in a big machine, right? Where I'm working for somebody else, where anybody has any control over me at all, and it's all up to me. And I get to take personal responsibility. Hey, William, personal responsibility it could be a little scary, right? But at the same time, it allows you to take power. And I think Will was just talking about that on the Next Level Mastermind. Some personal responsibility. Have you guys been attending the Next Level Mastermind? A little bit, sometimes, every once in a while? Yeah, you can always watch those recordings and listen to them. Awesome. But I think that is really good. Continuing with 2 things. 1, being a product of the product. So you're actually using the products that you're buying. It makes you care about them more. But more importantly, it also it allows you to grow. And as you grow, things become easier. You're learning this stuff. But then because I did not know how to recruit, I did not know how to build a team until I went through the top producer formula and I went through the team building formula. And now I can recruit and I can build a team, So it makes it a lot easier for me to sell that product. If somebody's curious and they're like, oh, well, I don't know how to recruit. I'm like, oh, cool. It's exactly where I was before I bought the 6-Figure Builder Club, went through the top producer formula, learned how to do it. It's easy now, right? I can, at any day, if I want to spend an entire day and just say, I'm going to make this happen no matter what, that's it, period. I'm recruiting 2 people. I can make it happen, right? Because I learned the strategies. I learned what to do. So for somebody else that wants that information, if you go through it, and I've been through the top producer formula about 8 times, but the more you go through that, the more you cement that stuff in there, you learn how to sell and recruit, you can hit your own numbers, okay? And then what you need to do is find out a goal. So if you're sitting here at, somewhere around 10 leads a day, or let's say you've made your first 10 leads or you haven't made your first 10 leads yet, but you want to get to 10 leads a day. I think that's about where most people are at. They want to get to 10 leads a day. We got some people, I think Steven's a little bit above this, depending on how many solo ads he's buying consistently. But know that that's not a luck thing, Steven. You don't want to be treating that like a slot machine, because sometimes you can get lucky, but there's way more money in learning the skill. Looks like you're out of the car and in some kind of diner or something. Steakhouse. Nice. All right, cool. Well, yeah. So learning the skills of creating your own capture pages, making your own videos, making your own blog posts, getting your own emails, that even emails that promote other people's stuff. Excuse me, that's good too. So, all right, from these 2 levels, to get to your first 10 leads a day, you have to think about, okay, what did I do to get a lead? Okay, what did I do to get a lead? I created an Instagram account, and I did this, and I did that, and I did that, and I created the targeting. And all of a sudden, I got the thing about the Instagram is you're not going to get a lead. You're going to get a lead every, 72 hours, every 23 hours, whatever, right? Just depending on your targeting, depending on your pictures, depending on the congruency of your message and your bio with your capture page, with your bridge page, all that kind of stuff matters, right? So what you're thinking about when you're trying to move to this level, if you're trying to get to 10 leads a day, you just need to look at what's working and say, okay, if that is creating this result, how many do I need to make this result equal 10 leads a day? What do I need to do? And what you're going to find is actually exactly what Lana found. Lana, can you come out? Or are you indisposed? There she is. All right, so Lana, how many accounts did you create on Instagram? And not just create, but create and plug in and turn on with Instagram.
I have at the moment 10 accounts, and I have about nine of them running on Instagram.
Okay, so 9 accounts. The 10th one won't matter at all, right? Because it's not running, it's not working. So it's like the videos. I've made a lot of videos that I never uploaded. So I'm never going to make a dime from them. But either way, I digress. So of those 9, what were you saying? In their peak performance when you were really working it, you were posting pictures all the time, that sort of thing. About how many leads were you generating daily?
Daily, I was probably getting anywhere from 3 to 5 daily.
3 to 5 a day.
Each account. Yeah.
From each account.
Well, let's say about 5 of the accounts, because some of them are running as well as.
Okay, so they say the Pareto principle. You get 80% of your results from 20% of your efforts. Sounds like hers was a little bit better than that, right? It sounded, what was it? 5 out of 9 were performing.
Yeah.
5 out of 9 were performing, and then out of that, was one of them a lot better, or were they all about equal, or what?
They were all about equal.
They were all about equal. Cool. So then, what does she need to do to go? Yeah. So that's 5 accounts with 3 to 5 leads each, right? I would not focus on trying to get more leads out of those 5 accounts. I would say, well, what's wrong with these 3 accounts over here, or 4 accounts, I guess, right? You had 9. So what could you do to those 4 accounts to make them start performing like the other 2, the other 4, 5, or whatever number it was, 5? How do you get those that weren't performing to perform?
I think it's got to do with my, what do you call it, capture page that I set up. I think I need to change that up, because they're all different, and I need to work out which ones are working better than the other ones. So I think that's got a lot to do with it. I think it's what I'm posting as well. Depending on which group I'm posting, you got to kind of connect with whoever you're trying to target as well.
That's exactly right. Connecting to whatever you're targeting. And so capture pages, making sure that it makes sense to what they're targeting, all of that is kind of falls underneath a broader category that I call message to market match. Message to market match. So Paula, there she is, has a Shih Tzu account that gets like 100 to 400 likes on every single picture. Now, if her targeting was me and people like me, she would be getting 0 likes on every picture, right? Because I'm not a big Shih Tzu fan, and all she does is post pictures of Shih Tzus. So obviously, that there's a niche for that. There's a niche for everything. There's even a niche for like some weird stuff that you don't even want to go into. There's everything is out there, right? It's the internet. It's got it all. So if she doesn't have message to market match, it wouldn't work. But because she does have message to market match, she's getting incredible response, right? Incredible rapport with these people. The huge, 100 to 400 likes on every picture. And she only has like 3,800 followers. And so normally getting a 10% response rate, like 10% of your followers like your picture, that's pretty decent. That's good. It's about average. But to go anything above that is awesome. And 5% is kind of okay. You're getting close to being not really shown by Instagram very much. So when you post a picture, not all of your followers will see it. They're starting to adopt more of the Facebook algorithms. Whereas it used to be everybody would see everything always in chronological order. Now they're kind of mixing it up a little bit, and your first post are going to be things that Instagram really thinks that you're going to like. And Paula, I imagine, is showing up in that with a lot of her people. So whenever she posts something, they're all seeing it because a huge percentage of them is always liking her pictures. And so like, yeah, this person is a great content producer. We're going to give her the spotlight every single time. She has great message to market match. Okay, so if she added an extra 100,000 followers that don't like Shih Tzus, then all of a sudden her percentages would be way out of whack. They would suck. And all the people who do like them would not see her pictures. So you don't want followers that don't like what you post, ultimately. Just doesn't work. So I would say for Lana, who loves to just disappear on me, I would say for Lana, what she needs to do is then take those 3 accounts and say, the cool thing about Instagram is you could change it entirely. Like she could take those and just start posting completely different pictures and talk. I mean, if she's like, oh shit, I love Shih Tzus too, I'm going to load it up with a bunch of Shih Tzu pictures. Take all those followers that she used to have or has currently on those accounts might be a little confused, you know, or she's like, oh man, why did Lana all of a sudden just start loving Shih Tzu so much? But all of her new targeting, right, her new followers from all the targeting that she's changed to where she has message to market match. And when I say that, I mean from the group of people that you're targeting to the pictures that you post to the bio in Instagram that you have to the name of the link to what's on the capture page to what's on the bridge video to what's on the follow-up backup email series. If all of that is in alignment, you're going to be blown away by how high it converts, right? If all of that is, you want to think of it like a luge, like an ice luge. You guys know what that is? A little bit, yeah? So if you think of it like a luge, you don't want any bumps in the road, right? You want it to be a very smooth ride down. And like, so I was talking to Sam, who's not on here, and she was doing pretty good generating like a couple of leads a day and getting 0 conversions. And why do you guys think that was? Why wouldn't she get conversions if she's getting leads every day? It's a problem with this right here, right? Message to market match. Is that what you're about to say? Yeah. So yours was the problem. She was actually creating an Instagram account in Spanish to Spanish-speaking audience, creating content in Spanish to a capture page that was in Spanish, getting leads every single day that people were opting in with their Spanish email addresses, and then showing them Dave's video in English. So message to market match, not matching up, right? Now, I told her about that, and she's like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. I'm like, well, that's okay, because I've done the same thing before. And these little things just slip your mind, right? And you don't really realize it because, I created this one. They all do the same thing. Capture page, bridge page, video of Dave. Capture page, bridge page, then go to the sales video. Capture page, bridge page, sales video. They're like, all right, well, yeah, I'll make a Spanish capture page and have Sandy make the bridge page, and then we'll send it over the same sales video. Boom, no conversions on that one, right? Now, that's not to say it won't, but the same percentages will apply, except for a lower number because you lose everybody that doesn't speak English. Now, there probably are some people in there that speak English, and I bet if she did it long enough, she could probably get a couple of sales. But she'll do a lot better if she makes her own sales video in Spanish or goes and finds a sales video in Spanish. There's a couple of them that are out there, and I'm using one of them now from Rui Gabriel. He's done like $700,000 in Empower. He's on the Leadership Mastermind, and he has a sales video in Spanish, and I'm using his. Anyway, message to market match. The more congruent, anytime there's a little hiccup, a little bump in the road, you're going to lose people. You're going to lose a percentage. Whether you lose it at the beginning. What's up, BK?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how the Instagram accounts work yet. How does posting pictures of a dog or whatever breed it is correlate with growing our business?
Yeah. Great question. So ultimately, what you can say that we're doing is we are building a large audience, right? Oh, man, what a terrible smiley face. That guy's got the biggest forehead ever. Let's just put circles, okay? You're getting a big audience, and imagine these are all people, okay? You're growing a large audience, and this isn't just a bunch of people. It's a bunch of people you have rapport with, you have responsiveness with, okay? So, BK, you came from a network marketing background, and they said they didn't teach you anything how to build an audience. They said, look, you already have an audience, and you have really, really good rapport with a couple of them, and you've got some rapport with all of them. right? You've already got a group of people that you have rapport with, which is responsiveness. Now, some people will kind of mix that up, and they'll try to say you have a friendship or a relationship with those people. And, that's a little bit different, because then they're like, oh, well, you just got to go make new relationships. And they tell you to go make a bunch of friends in order to go sell them something. Well, that's not a message to market match. They're coming in for the friendship, and then you're trying to sell them something. It's not going to work. So what does work is if you build an audience with responsiveness, with rapport, and they see you as the person that, for whatever reason, they like what you post. They like you. They feel like they know you, they like you, and they trust you. And so when you post a picture, they like it. When you tell them to click on the link in your bio, they click it, right? And if what you're talking about is interesting to them and they like it, like I've been watching Paula post these pictures of these beautiful, cute little Shih Tzus every single week. She actually ran, maybe one thing you could do, Paula, is you could say, hey, I want to see your dogs. This is about, Fan Love Appreciation Week. Send me your cutest picture of your Shih Tzu. And all of a sudden, you just got a bunch of free content that you could post for the next 7 days or whatever, however long you want to run it for. And she's got a group of people that are engaged, right? They're commenting on her pictures. They're liking it. They're following her. And when she says, hey, I know that, this isn't going to make sense to most of you, but some of you guys probably, how many people out there are in a job, right? Or don't like what they're doing and want to do something else? It's still a big percentage of the world. And so if she only had this many friends, she could make a couple of sales. And Paula's done that. She's made a couple of sales in various network marketing businesses by hitting up her friends. And she could do that in Empower too. If she wanted to turn it on and really reach out to all of them, she could make the little video and send it through Messenger and get a couple of sales. Well, she has responsiveness with this people. So then she just needs to create a message to market match. Say, hey, look, I love Shih Tzus as much as the next person. But if let me show you how I'm actually making sales on the internet, how I'm making an internet business, how I'm transitioning away from doing something that pays me that I don't like to something that pays me way better that I love. Let me show you how that's possible, right? Below the video, I've got a button. I want you to click on it, and I'm going to introduce you to my buddy Dave. He's the guy that taught me exactly how I can do all this stuff. And then they click on it, and they go to sales video, right? Most people aren't going to buy, but you're not looking for most. You're looking for the ones that will. Just like an offline, most people don't join. Same thing on the internet. The thing is, it's a lot easier to generate 30 leads a day than it is to have 30 conversations a day, right?
Yeah. Thank you for explaining that.
Does that make sense? Yeah?
It does.
Hey,
Yeah.
Brian, it's past your time.
Thank you, Paula. All right. So this is something that Empower is doing now. Let me share my screen. Can you guys see that? Let's see. It's like bonus. No. No. Daily show. But the easiest way to do that, I guess I could just show you. Is it not bonus? Damn, I thought it was. Okay, well, you know what? I'll just show you. So if I go to this one right here, here's an episode of The Daily Show. Somebody opts in right here, right? Like, so this is value. It's giving value. So you send it to your list, you share it with other people. The people that are interested in this are people that are interested in personal development, in leadership, and making money, and marketing, and sales, all that kinds of stuff, right? Those are the people who would love to join Empower Network as soon as they found out it existed. Well, you give them this value, and then at the bottom, they're able to put their email address in. So I'm just going to put a little fake one in here that I can delete. And when they click on this, now it goes to this bridge video, right? This is, uh-oh. Maybe I didn't like that email address. It is Daily Show / bonus. Okay.
Hey folks,
whatever.
It's Dave Wood.
So wait, watch the first few minutes of it, or first few seconds of this.
It's Rob Ramoni, and today we're going to give you a 5-step system to making 6 figures this year in 2017. Now, why should you listen to us? Well, it's real simple. Online, I've done a couple $100 million in sales. Rob's done, what, about 100 million? About 100 million. Together, we've done 300 million. And so if you watch this whole video, not only are we going to give you this 5-step system for free, and by the way, there's nothing for sale right now. We're going to actually give you a breakdown of how we've done $300 million in sales online. Now I want you to pay attention because this is simple, and by the end of this video, you're actually going to understand exactly what to do next. Okay, so let's talk about the 5-step system for making 6 figures.
Okay, so this is the new bridge video. He goes into 5 steps, and the 5th step is actually having 6-figure coaching, which I'll agree is definitely critical. Having somebody, you know, that has made 6 figures show you exactly what they're doing makes it a lot easier. Excuse me, I didn't have that, and it was a lot harder. And as soon as I got some of that, things became a lot easier. For instance, this Instagram strategy is not something I learned on my own, something I learned from Lawrence Tam, right? So it becomes a lot easier when you have a 6-figure mentor. What they're talking about specifically, though, is a 6-figure mentor that is Carrie and Carrie's team, right, which is our sales coach. So now they're going to go from watching a value-based video to seeing Dave right here with Rob talking about what they did to make $300 million in sales on the internet, and the 5 steps that they use. And the 5th step is having a 6-figure coach. And then boom, right here. Here's your 3rd bonus: apply for 6-figure coaching. And when they click on that button, boom, they get to come in here and put in their information to be a coach. Now, has anybody filled in the coaching application to talk with Carrie or Carrie's team? Leslie has. Has anybody else filled it in? BK, Paula, William? Okay, have any of you guys actually talked with him? No? Leslie has, and William has. Okay. Leslie, how did that go?
Out of a job.
Oh, what'd you say, BK?
So now that I'm out of a job, I can actually schedule time to do it.
There you go. Well, I'll pop this link in here, and let's go right there, and you can click on that and you can fill it out. So, Leslie, what did you think?
I thought it was transformational, honestly.
Okay.
And what my problem was exactly what you've just said. It was the match, right? What, I don't know the words that you...
Message to market. Just messaging your words to who's looking for.
Being congruent,
Target
right?
market.
Being congruent. So he just looked at one simple account and he goes, well, yeah, this is why you're not converting, because I'm getting leads, but I'm not converting to sales. That's why you're not converting. You need to use those exact words, blah, 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 blah. And it just, I mean, it's nothing that you and Lawrence hadn't told me before.
But it's as if you introduced you met your people and then switched them to Spanish, huh?
Yeah. And it just really helped for him to look at it with me. And so that taught me 2 things. Number 1, that I had a problem, which I knew I had a problem. I just didn't know what the problem was. And number 2, I'm going to start asking you guys when I do have problems, because you could spend 5 minutes with me. You would have seen it where you can't see it in your own stuff. If I would have asked you, Brian, would you spend 5 minutes and look at one account with me and help me? I would have gotten the same advice from you. I know that now, because it's nothing you haven't already told me. I just didn't see it in my own work.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's hard to see, something. It's like you're losing weight every week, but it's hard to see a difference. Whereas you go see somebody you haven't seen in 2 weeks and they're like, whoa, look at you. You're getting sexy. What's happening here? Because you don't see that. If you're in it all the time, it's hard to see the changes. And the differences and or in your case, what's wrong with it? Why it's not converting. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, you feel badly about asking you guys for time and that kind of stuff. And, it was just 5 minutes. That's all it took. It's not like I would have had to ask you for an hour. So I'm going to start asking when I fix my crap. If it doesn't get better, then I'm going to ask you or Lawrence to. Hey, give me 5 minutes, could you? And it is awesome.
No, my internet lagged up. But yeah, if you got anything, for sure, guys. For me, my goal this year is not to travel the world and see a lot of stuff. I will be doing that also, but that's not a goal. That's just something I like doing now. And I am going to be putting on an event in Bali in possibly April, I think. We're going to see. It depends on what's going on with Dave's event in Puerto Rico, because I don't want to have an event like the weekend after, or even, not too close, right? So anyway, my 2017 is about helping you guys break through. I want to help 50 people quit their job and create an income online, because you guys can't. I'm not doing anything that you aren't doing. And here's the thing that's complicated about it, and this can be really frustrating about it, right? And maybe you're really, really good at this, and you're really good at this, and you're okay at that, and you're okay at that, and you just didn't even know that this problem here existed. You didn't even know that you had to do this. Or you totally forgot. You're like, oh my God, that's why it's not working. I wasn't doing this. And you don't even know what this is. And there's like, let's say there's 10 things that need to be all working for it all to line up for you to get a sale. And you got 9 of them going, and it looks exactly the same as when you only had 1 of them going. You're like, man, I had this going, and I saw like a little bit of a result, and then I did this, and 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 I'm still getting the same beginning result that I got at the very beginning. What the hell? And the reality is you only need to add like one more thing. You need to do one little tweak. You need to realize that your people are coming in, and all of a sudden you're changing languages on them, and boom, you just lose them all, right? Or maybe you've got it all the things are there, and you're just not pumping enough people into it. You're like, I got 10 people to see it. Why didn't one of them buy? Well, you can convert 1 out of 10 people, but you're more likely to convert 1 out of 100 people. And so you just got to 10x the number of people that are going through the funnel. And so that's why I wanted to give you these numbers, because if you know that ultimately you want to get 30 leads a day, if you're aiming for that in lead flow, you're good. And then aim for 2 sales a day in sales flow. But some of you guys aren't ready to aim for 2 sales a day. So aiming for 30 leads a day, because if you're building your list, guys, that's good, right? If you're building your list, even if you run a solo ad and you build your list and you don't break even, that's still fine. As long as you're building your list, you're getting people, and they're real people. They're people where you send them an email, and then a month later you send another email, and they still open it. They're still reading it. They're still paying attention. Then you're on the right track. And all it is about maintaining their attention, continuing to give them information that they like, that helps them, and growing that bond of know, like, and trust, to where ultimately they're like, I've been paying attention to BK for 6 months now, and I'm ready to get started. I watched him bravely go out there and do something that, was pretty crazy, and I want to be a part of it, right? Those are the kind of things that can happen when you're consistent over a longer period of time, and you're continuing to deliver value to your list. You just keep giving them the stuff you want to give. So, all right. Well, we are running up to the clock. Got to reach out to Lawrence. At the end of last week, I gave you a cliffhanger, an open loop about what I was going to teach this week. Does anybody remember what it was? Awesome. Because I don't either. And I guarantee I didn't cover it. Isn't that awesome? So another takeaway, when you open your loops and you tell them, hey, next time this is what you're going to get, people will still show up even if they don't remember what it was, and even if you don't either and you don't give it. But if anybody does remember and you want it, let me know in the chat. Leslie knows.
6 basic human needs, is that right?
That is right. I remember now. It was the second part to Tony Robbins. And unfortunately, we're out of time. So, Leslie, that is very, very important stuff, and I will cover that. Actually, that's really important to Steven because he's got a bigger list now and he wants to deliver value. But anybody that's consistently getting leads, you guys want this. It's kind of the solution to always have something the Daily Show is an easy solution to always have some content to share with them. But this is another way of doing that, where they get to know you more, and you're not always using the default stuff. You're branching out there, and you're becoming your own marketer, building your own tribe. So remind me, Leslie, next week, and I will get you guys those 6 needs. Did you remember off the bat, or you watched the recording, didn't you, Leslie?
Well, yeah, but I had to go back and look at my notes. I keep my notes in notes.
So when I brought it up at first, you didn't remember, but you had your notes there?
Right.
And you're able to find it. Okay. So somebody more organized than me will always beat me when it comes to that stuff. But thanks for showing up again, guys. We're going to jump on to Lawrence's Hangout. I don't know exactly what he's going to be covering, but, this is the guy I'm learning from. So you guys should learn from it as well. So, yeah, thanks again for showing up, and I will see you guys in the chat.